Hi, good evening. I say evening because it is at 8:59 p.m. It's been a long day, and I'm excited to work with you today briefly. I know you can't speak back, but I'm going to introduce myself briefly. I am Mr. Jose Mendez. I am a teaching artist at the Northern Museum of Art, and we are collaborating because I also work at Hatch 1121, the gallery, which is very close to the Farm Workers Coordinating Council. It's on 1121 Lucerne Ave, and I'm the gallery coordinator. The art that you're going to create is going to be part of the community exhibit. This is our first year that we actually have youth category, and between Farm Workers Council students, art students, and Arts for All, we're gonna have about 16 of you in the gallery at the exhibit. So I'm excited to have you guys on board. I'm very excited that we were able to get together. I am going to I'm creating this video so you understand what I did with the other students. And Mrs. Ingrid did create a packet for you, and it also has a lesson plan. So when you're creating your art, it's basically you're creating a community landscape. Like, what is one of your favorite parts of the one of your favorite, not parts, one of the favorite landscapes in the city? Do you enjoy going to the beach? Is it a park? Is it a school? What is the landscape? What is it that you like going to? Um, what is it your favorite landscape? So I am going to go over some of the photographs that are landscapes by a local photographer named Shawn Moss, and he gave me permission to use his photos, so I can share with you, and you should be able to identify some of the locations at the some of the locations around the city and the Palm Beach County. They're all in the city. So let's start. I'm going to share my screen. Um, and let's start looking at his photos. So there you go. You should be seeing a photo of Mr. Shawn Moss's sunrise at the Lake Worth Pier. Um, have you been to the beach? Have you been to the beach in the morning? Have you been to the beach in the morning when the sun is rising? Well, this is kind of what it looks. The water is, you can see there are no waves, so that's what they call low tide. It's nice and calm. And the formation on the clouds are awesome. I personally think they're awesome. They usually don't look like that. It almost looks like the clouds are rising from the earth towards the sky. That's personally what I see. Maybe you see something else. Um, this is also the pier, the Lake Worth Pier. You should be familiar with. Um, if you haven't maybe driven close by or driven by it. And this is nighttime, and he has the settings on his camera to capture this photo of a lightning strike out in the ocean. I think it's an amazing photo. Um, you can see different rays of light all throughout the photograph. This is the Boynton Beach Inlet, very popular also. A lot of boats going in and out. If you get a chance to go to the inlet, you'll observe that there's a lot of boats going in and out, a lot of fishermen, and the water seems to be pretty rough. The times that I've been to the inlet, the water is rough. And in this picture, it looks calm. It looks like a storm is coming. And as you know, we're in Florida. There's always a storm around. All of us, we might have a nice, sunshiny, beautiful day, and here comes the storm. So this is the calm before the storm. It's nice and calm, but the storm's coming. This is the Boyan Beach Inlet. And this is, I don't know the exact location of this photograph, but it is a mangrove. And mangroves are usually you see on the intercoastal. Mangroves grow from a lot of times grow directly in the water. A lot of fish like to be around mangroves, especially I believe it's the snapper mangrove snapper, because little bugs fall into the water and that's their food. This looks like it could be either sunrise or sunset, because in here in Florida, in Palm Beach County, when we see the sunset, it's out west, and when you see the sun rise, it's east. So, because the intercoastal, based on which way you're looking, it could be either. And then, to me personally, it almost looks like the sunset. Doesn't look like it's early, but that really we don't know the answer to that. I would have to ask them. So this is another photograph of the pier, and it looks like a storm's coming. The water is not calm. The water, the tide looks like it's rough. You can also see the sea foam. Usually when you see a lot of sea foam, that means that the water is rough. Those clouds here to the left look very dark. And this is just another photo of the pier. The pier is one of my favorites. I think when you think of Lake Worth Beach, that's one of the main attractions. So we did in the classroom, we did create the pier, the Lake Worth Beach Pier. You don't have to create that. These are just ideas. You can actually create your own landscape. This is the sandy tree in West Palm Beach. The sandy tree comes up once a year around Christmas time. And this is a great photograph, personally, I think, because he has a tree in front of the sandy tree. And the colors that were captured during this photograph, such as purple and the rays of light beaming across, and it looks like it's raining. So there's little lines in the beams, the beams coming all across. I love the lights in this photograph. And this is the photo we created. This is the landscape we created. I'll go back to the photos that we created. I'll show you the photos that we created once I stop sharing the screen. This see, it's a sunrise, and there's a storm, so the sun tends to get blocked. I like the colors of the sand and the reflection of the water from the sand. I like that it has several different colors. It starts with the blue skies, and it kind of turns like a light purple, pinkish. I would say more purple. Then you see these clouds that are very dark, and then before you hit the sea, it's the clouds are very dark all the way across. And then of course the pier. I like the way the pier is nice and bright, and it almost takes all the picture. It's a little bit over half the picture in the center. Really can't tell what this little light thing here is, but it also does attract. It does capture my eye. And then we run into the water, the tide. It doesn't look as rough. It's nice and calm, but there is some sea foam here at the end, and then the reflection off the water from the sand, and then the actual sand. So I do enjoy this photo. Then we have the sandy tree again. I believe it says sandy land and the palm trees. So it's the S, then the A, then the N, then the D. You can't see the I because it's behind the I'm sorry, behind the tree, and then there's land, so it's sandy land. He captured it when the the colors change on the Christmas tree. So he captured it when it was red, and the way all the palm trees and the way he centered the photograph. Um, I think it's a wonderful photo. Also, nice Christmas tree. It's very big. If you've never been to downtown West Palm Beach, it's around Christmas time. You can see the two persons here next to the sign, and it gives you an idea of how big it is. It looks like it's bigger than the some of the palm trees. I think I skipped one. This is John Prince. No, I'm sorry, not John Prince Park. This is Okehilly Park. This is Okehilly Park on the during the sunset. Like around January, I saw a lot of the sunsets this color. You know, it has the purple, the oranges, the yellows, and it has a nice walking trail at Okehilly Park. It has several small lakes that you can walk next to, and like I said, sunset does go down on the west, so the this is a great area to catch the sunset. The great Personally, my favorite thing about these photos is all the textures in the cloud and the different colors. This is at the beach, the Lake Worth Casino, and Shawn has a setting where he was able to capture the light of headlights. He was able to capture the headlights into the photo, and it gives a wonderful effect. This is the Intercoastal. If you have lived in Florida long enough, especially Palm Beach County or Lake Worth area, you've been stuck waiting for the bridge to come back down because they go up so yachts, boats can get through, and they're able to continue to their mission or to wherever they're going. The colors, the water, they're all wonderful. Wonderful landscape. This is also the sunset time at the Lake Worth Bridge that brings you over from crosses you over the Intercoastal and brings you towards the beach. And it looks like it's sunset also because the sun sets west. It has wonderful colors, the orange and kind of reddish brown in the center all the way across. And then the sky almost looks like the beach. I'm sorry, the water. So it almost looks alike when if you look at it halfway, you can see the reflection of the lights. The lights, actual lights on the bridge, look like sparklers, which is a pretty cool effect. It's a great photo. And this is downtown West Palm Beach. This is also a great photo. You get to see the condominiums, the skyscrapers. You see the reflection on the water. The neons pop out at you. And this is what some of the skyscrapers look at in downtown West Palm Beach. And we're back to the pier. Now you can't see the pier cutting across the beach like in the other photographs, but this is the entrance, which is Benny's by the beach. And in the last few years, they've added this landscape, and this is also a wonderful photograph, but it can be a bit detailed. So I'm going to teach you something a little more basic, and you'll be able to capture a beautiful landscape. And you can also choose your own landscape. It's open. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to help you recreate this photo, the photo of this pier. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see if I can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So with that photograph in mind, I created this landscape of up here and added some birds in the background. I made several different versions of it. Made the skies look different. I made the skies look different on this also. And if there was a photo that you like, feel free to go back and just pause it. This was the mangrove that I showed you. So I'm going to grab my watercolor paper and create a real quick landscape with you so you can create your own. You should have watercolors that were given to you by Miss, were dropped off by Miss Ingrid, and we're given to you by the Norton. I am using a thick brush. If you happen to have brushes that have been given to you by the Norton, for landscapes and blending, I use a brush that's a little bit wider than usual, which is about a ½ inch, maybe, yeah, about ½ inch. But if you don't have one, it's okay. You can use your other. Now, I like to grab my water and add it to the actual special watercolor paper. I'm gonna water down my watercolor paper. And this is gonna help absorb some of the browns. You'll be able to tone down the browns. It won't be as dark or light. It'll be lighter, and it's usually easier to have your art become a little lighter versus if it's too dark. So I'm gonna really water down my brown because it is a bit of a tan color. And so you don't want to use too much brown. And that brown, actually, you might want to use some tan if you have the color. Once again, if you don't feel like the colors that you have are going to work, you can create another landscape. So I grabbed the tan, and in the photo, it's angled to about here. About a third away, third of the sheet of paper, the watercolor paper. Plenty of water on my watercolor paper. Get the brown down. Onto the sheet of paper. Making sure it's all over. I'm happy with what I see so far. I'm gonna add a little brown, very little, right across and down below. It's not too much, just a little. Now I'm gonna grab my water and I'm gonna blend it all together. That means your paper should be pretty wet, and it might get it a little wrinkly. Might not be flat, and that's okay. Don't worry about that. It'll dry, and then it'll be flat again, like the samples I have here. Okay. So I'm blending the brown back and forth, just using water, giving it a texture. I like this. I'm happy with this. It doesn't look like lines are cutting across, maybe here a little bit, but overall I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna move forward with adding, I skipped this, I skip the section where you kind of see sea foam. I clean up my brush and I start using sea blue. So it can be a bit dark. I did forget to water down my background, so I'm watering down my background again, like I did before, so I can blend my colors. So grab some water, water your sheet. Doesn't matter how you get it on there, and make sure your little area is nice and clean so you don't get nothing on your brush. My area is usually pretty clean. My art area, nice and wet. Now you really can't tell by the camera and the angle, but I feel it, and yes, nice and moist. So you are going to now do the blue. I'm sorry, just making sure I'm not on mute. And I'm over here. I had already checked, but it's one of those things with technology that might happen. And this video might be taking a little longer than I expected, but I wanted to make sure that you understand the instructions. So I got the blue, now I'm going across, back and forth. Gets dries up, grab some more blue. Back and forth. This is more of a sea blue. That's the color we're going for. See something here. I'm gonna pin this, but I'm also going to share my screen with the photos. Hope this helps. I'll go back and look at it. It was this one. So I can't really tell. I'd rather just not share. So it has a little purple here. It's a little too dark for me. we're going to go for something like this. It's very light. Whoops, and I left my brush on top of the art. That should not have happened. Okay, mistakes happen. Now to create, I'm gonna clean out my brush again, and I'm gonna grab a very light purple or water down my purple. Get plenty of water there. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna go across, grab my water it down. See how I had a blotch of blue here, making it disappear. Grabbing my water, making sure there's plenty of water all the way across. Purple. And we're gonna blend that purple with the blue. And a little bit above, about an inch. It all blends in, just like the photo, become natural. And then the sky was nice and sky blue, like nice sky blue. So if you have that, if not, tone down your color. Add lots of water to it. And I'm washing out my brush because we're adding water to the top again. So your watercolor paper is going to be full of water. Lots of water. It's cheap. It's going to be nice and wet. So you can see there's a nice layer. You can do it. All it takes is just a good amount of water. Don't be shy with the water. You also don't want a puddle of water, but you want your sheet of paper nice and wet. So I'm grabbing my blue. That's a bit of like sky blue. And I am going to run it across, see what it looks like. Not too much. And I want to add clouds. So usually when you add a cloud, you brush like small M's, like you're creating small M's, right? So if you watch me. Move this blue around. Yeah, something here. I'm telling you. It's out of there. It's cloudy up here. What do you think? Not too bad. So now this is the sea foam. Clean out our brush again. If it's darker than this, that's fine. No worries. On these, the purple is a little different. Made my clouds go up like on the pictures that I showed you. They don't have to look alike. This one I decided to create a big cloud in the center. Made it a little darker. They're all different. It's your choice. So this has a bit too much of white still. So we are going to grab some of the darker blue. We want to be able to tell the difference between. the sky and the water. And let's water down this last part here below. Nice and we're gonna keep nice and white. Now it's changing colors. We're gonna keep this line here and keep the sea foam. A bit of sea foam, not too much, but just a little. So now you can see how it blends in. Something that I'm seeing now, looking back, is that you really can't tell where the sky begins and the water begins. So let me share my screen again to show you that picture. And I want to make sure that okay. That's what we're creating. Yeah, and in the photograph, there's a line to make sure that you can see where the water ends, and we're going to create that across right here. Straight hand. So here's our landscape. Now what's it missing? The pier. Going to use a ruler, or maybe I'll just use another brush. It's not wet. And in the photo, it sticks out in the center of the photo. Let's take a look again. About 2/3 of the 2/3, so about right here. I use a bit of gray. I'm gonna go here, and with my measurement, it cuts straight across right here, and then I'm going to create a line. I don't think this is dark enough. Down a little black. Clean out my brush. Just use a bit. If you want to use a thin brush, that's a good idea. I'm gonna keep my brush and I just make sure it was thin. I went a little over 2/3. That's okay. Nobody knows. Only it's our secret. Now you start creating a bit of the details. It's a small canopy. Maybe when it rains, you're able to hide, but I don't know if you know, have a little experience of being rained on at the beach. It's like water comes from everywhere. So yeah, a thin brush would be a good idea. Let's use a thin brush. It was a bit thin, but let's do it. So what holds up the pier? Right? These concrete structures that hold it. They asked me how many should I put up. Well, I counted and I think it was about 12, but it doesn't have to look exactly like it. Yeah, a little more than 12, but you go with what you create. And I'm not gonna go get in too much detail. Showing you the basics here. If you look at the photo, has a bit of yellow. Grab some of my bright yellow. Add some yellow to it. Sorry. So I created the pier. Painted it black. Great thing about watercolors is yellow goes right through. Give it that color effect. In the photo, there was no birds, but let's add some birds. Grab your small brush, pick a little blue. Yeah, I'm gonna use blue. Let's see. What do they look like? They look like arches. I have a very thin brush. Come all over the place. So I thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me at the exhibit. This is just so you get an idea of different kind of landscapes, not just the landscape that's in your that's in your packet. So you're gonna need the tools that they give you, the supplies, which is watercolor paints, I believe a pencil. You can also sketch it on there and then paint. But I just gave you more tips on the effects of how to blend in the watercolors. So good luck with your creation, Mr. Jose. Have a great day, and good luck with your creation again.